Welcome everyone to the SERL American Ethanol Series Season 2, Race 19 at Gen Valley, a new circuit and new road course to the SERL in general, and this is a 2.13 mile road course, 9 turns. It's pretty wide, and I think what separates this track from most of the other road courses is that there are some concrete sections, so now these drivers are going to be faced with a new challenge, transitioning, and constantly transitioning from asphalt to concrete and then concrete to asphalt over and over and over again for a total of 21 laps. And and here is a map of the racetrack. So, to me, pretty basic layout and shape for a road course. And to me, the biggest trouble spots are going to be, in my opinion, I think, uh, the first couple corners, like turns 1, 2, and then turns 5 and 6. Turn 9, I think that's a corner that's very high speed and where it's so easy to draft. So if two drivers hook each other, it could cause a couple of spins. And I don't think that compared to the truck race yesterday at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, things aren't going to get as destructive. In my opinion, it might be a much more cleaner, much more calmer race. But who knows? Even I don't know because to me, we've never ever had a race here. And last week at Nashville, it was a pretty interesting race. There was a huge scoring error at some point, which kind of helped our eventual winner, Jacob Reed, in the 29, get the win. But to me, he did kind of have some help and luck on his side because Aiden Saunders and Hurley Haywood were the two most dominant drivers of the day. Aiden Saunders led most of the laps, and then as the white flag came out in the air, they were 3 wide. Aiden Saunders in the middle, Hurley Haywood on the outside, Jacob Reed on the inside. Elgin Mills is pushing Hurley Haywood, and the pushing becomes too much. Hurley Haywood goes down into Aiden Saunders, and Aiden Saunders spins. Hurley Haywood has to slow down. Jacob Reed is on the bottom, and basically he escapes it. He goes on to win the race. And so now Jacob Reed, he's not in the championship picture, but to me, if he were to have another nice solid run, which he's starting up front, and because road courses are hard to pass, it might be good luck for him. He could get himself into the picture. But the thing is, they all have to beat our pole center, Dale Scott, who has just been so strong this season. I've really never ever seen such dominance, I think, ever in this league, as far as memory serves. And to me, especially with him starting on the pole, and like I said, road courses are not very easy to pass on. So we're not really gonna have a whole lot of lead changes most likely. Dale Scott might just be able to run away with this. I think he's really starting to hit his stride these past few weeks. But there are two other drivers that are in this picture. One of those drivers is Andrew Gorman. Now, Andrew Gorman starts in the middle of the pack, but I think Andrew Gorman, he knows where to find speed. He's been on the pole 3 times, and even when he's not on the pole, pretty often he'll start up front. That's not exactly the case this time, but I think that he knows how to get himself up front. And then Dean Orden, the driver who's actually tied Dale Scott on a couple of occasions, he actually starts right around Andrew Gorman as well. Both of these drivers are in kind of a danger zone, so they better get out of the middle of the pack. So they better get out of the middle of the pack immediately, especially after what we saw yesterday in the Truck Series race, where we had a caution coming out of turn number 1, and it started with the second place car, and almost every single truck behind that got collected. So to me, you better get out of this middle of the pack and get yourself up to the front, and we'll just see what happens today. Now, let's get the cars rolling off. Here is the starting lineup. So Dale Scott, Connor Breeden in the front row, and Dale Scott has actually yet to win despite all the success that he's had so far this season. And it looks like that we had some drivers that couldn't be able to actually make a lap, so that's interesting. But anyway, Dale Scott, Connor Breeden, and for our 4th road course of the season, we are about ready to take the green flag. Gen Valley Road Course, that's what it says up on the top, and we are green at Gen Valley. So here we go. This is the first of a couple concrete sections, and right here in this first section of corners, this is why I said this could be a trouble spot, because the car, if you get out of shape very easily, you're probably gonna slide right back it might slide right back into traffic, and it's not gonna be good. But anyway, Dale Scott, he's pulled away. Matt Hotchkiss is now in the second place. Phil Goldberg in the 18, the Kansas winner, looks like he might be able to take it away. And now the caution's out. The caution is out. What's it for? Jonas Maps Jr. with a lot of damage. Charles Belling also with damage. Evan DePaula, maybe, but we gotta watch out. We still could have a wreck. But anyway, now we're gonna head into turn. I think this is turn number 8, and now we're heading into turn number 9, the fastest part of the racetrack, and then onto the narrow front stretch. The reason why I was in the back was because I wanted to see if we were going to have a wreck there, but it didn't happen. And so it looks like that our first caution of the day did happen in one of the few trouble spots that I did mention in the prairie show. And it looks like it has taken out or collected 3 drivers. The last 3 drivers in the running order: Charles Belling, Evan DePaula, Jonas Maps Jr. And so what happened here is that Evan DePaula gets a really good run right here after the first corner, but him and Charles Belling make contact into Jonas Maps Jr. here. Jonas Maps Jr. actually gets airborne into the wall, and then Charles Belling also keeps him up in the wall right here, and that is what causes front end damage, and it looks like that his day is going to be over along with Charles Belling's. Yesterday, the last place car was able to get through the melee. This time, nope. This is how everyone is going to restart. So 2 drivers are out of the race, and they are the 2 that I thought would be out of the race: Charles Belling and Jonas Maps Jr. And Andrew Gorman, second place in points, is 22nd, and then Dean Orden climbed up to 11th place. And Dale Scott, our points leader, is still our race leader. But now he has Matt Hotchkiss behind him, so will he have to face any challenges from these drivers? Another great restart. Heading down into turns 1, 2, and so now that everyone isn't restarting double file, or now that we aren't double file to begin another green flag run, we're not really going to see a whole lot of like 3 and 4 wide like we did in those first couple corners. Even though that's not exactly what caused the first caution. Ooh, my guess here, Ben Braley in the 40, he got some damage somewhere. I wonder where that came from. There weren't any other wrecks, so maybe he ran into the back of someone somewhere. Whoa, okay, that could have gone bad. And right here we go, lead change. Matt Hotchkiss here takes away the lead from Dale Scott, and so currently right now Dale Scott, he's gonna slide all the way back to 3rd, but he might lose 4th here to Nick Smith in the 19. Matt Hotchkiss in the 16, a driver that he's had a pretty solid season, I gotta say. He was higher in the points several weeks ago, but he's still inside the top 10 in points, and looks like that today is gonna be another good day for him. And right here, this is actually, I don't know if you saw it right there, but actually, what you might have just saw is actually what makes this racetrack so unique is how in some corners of the racetrack, the corners are actually sometimes there are actually some variable banked corners or progressive bank corners, you know, so that's what makes this racetrack kind of a different challenge, because normally most road courses, there's not usually that variable banking or different banking in the corners. And now Matt Hotchkiss, he is just pulled away. Nick Smith in 2nd, Dale Scott in 3rd. Phil Goldberg is now about ready to lose 5th position. And now maybe 6th here. Yeah. There are just some lines on this racetrack that do not work at all. And this kind of and to me, this kind of reminds me a little bit about Atwood Raceway Park, which was a couple weeks ago in the Domino's Pizza Truck Series, where one turn you can be on the inside lane and have the advantage, but on the next corner the outside lane could have the advantage. Another driver that's also moving up, Dean Orden. This is what he needs to do. He needs to not lose a whole lot of ground to Dale Scott right here. Oh, and now the caution's out. The caution is out. Club Crafton, I think he's dead last to points. Another struggling run. And is that it? Oh, Kendall Minor in the 70 with a lot of damage. So it looks like that, once again, it looks like that it was a small crash taking out a few drivers. Let's take a look and see what happened. Two things. This crash happened in another one of the 3 trouble spots that happened. This time it was in turns 5 and 6. And 2, this was a very violent racetrack and just a hard impact. So what happened here is that our Chastain got a really good run on Kendall Minor, and he slid up the racetrack here into Kendall Minor here, and Club Crafton just had nowhere to go. But look at this, look at this impact right here. Hits the guardrail and actually gets stuck in it. He hit a wrong area of the guardrail, which is what causes that, and Club Crafton backed it into the outside wall as well. And now we're gonna go on board Kendall Minor. We had a crash very similar to this in the Domino's Pizza Truck Series race yesterday at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, and it was Charles Belding hitting the outside wall. Sorry, and but the thing is, that wall was concrete, which made it even worse. Guardrail is a little bit more softer, but nevertheless, it is still a very hard and violent impact. The car came to a dead stop, and when that happens, that is certainly not good. So far this season, it's been mostly nothing but bad luck and poor finishes, and it looks like that streak will continue. For Club Crafton. Kendall Minor is out of the race. Club Crafton is still on the racetrack, so where is Andrew Gorman? He has actually now climbed up to 8th spot. Dean Orden is now in 9th place, so these two have actually been gaining ground on Dale Scott, and meanwhile Dale Scott is losing positions. Restart. Matt Hosch is still a leader. Nick Smith in 2nd place. Dale Scott is in 3rd place, but let's just see what happens. To the outside, or that's not the outside. To the inside goes Bro Hedgehogger here, and what am I guessing here? He kind of bumps him out of the way. Jacob Reed in the 29, trying to get a narrow good finish, or even better, a win. Here he goes, trying to make a 3-wire here. Thinks better of it. Gets out of the throttle. Dean Orden right here, kind of patiently waiting, but he better not wait too. But he better not wait too long here. Cameron Blake in the 84, I think it is. Yep, it is here. He's now looking inside. Biff Crafton in the 62, a driver that was in the picture not too long ago, but has had some bad luck the past 2 weeks. Where is Andrew Gorman? He's actually giving up a couple of positions here, most notably Aiden Saunders, the driver that dominated last week. Dean Orden once again also losing positions. Dale Scott is still in 3rd place, so that's good news for him. He kind of needs that to happen. He needs Andrew Gorman and Dale Scott, not Dale Scott. He needs Andrew Gorman and Dean Orden to drop positions. But to me, I think what Dale Scott would really like to do is gain more points, and he gains points by passing drivers, but also he would gain even more points if he were to win. So to me, he's got to find some way somehow to catch to Nick Smith and Matt Hoschkes, and he might need to change his line maybe. That's how we've seen some races won or lost. And that is when you have to do something different. But anyway, Matt Hoschke still leads, and looks like that now this time we have now made it 2 full laps under green flag. Dean Orden has now dropped 4 spots since the restart. Philip Goldberg continues to be sliding back just a little bit. Jacob Reed is still in 5th place. Brian Ketchog, it looks like guy. He's going to try to make another run at Dale Scott once again. In the meantime, Nick Smith right here looks like he's actually losing ground to our race leader Matt Hoschkes. So Nick Smith, he better find something fast, because now we are past halfway, lap 12 of 21. And now here we go into the corners once again. And I think what also makes this track kind of interesting is how I think at this racetrack kind of has a little bit of like a mountain like feel to it. Like for example, there's some really like hilly runoff areas. There are some, I think there are some parts of the racetrack there are just like rocks. And to me, I actually kind of feel like that this road course is to me kind of equivalent to driving sort of taking a drive through the woods. But anyway, Matt Hotchkiss continues to lead. Now we're going to take a look at drivers that are just outside the picture entering this weekend. One of those drivers is Blaine Keys, and the way he's running right now, he would gain points on Dean Orrin and Andrew Gorman, but to me, he would still not gain points on Dale Scott. So I think he's going. So I think he's going to have to find something fast. Jacob Reed in the 29. That one helped him get up into 5th in points, and I said this in the previous show. But to me, but to me, he's going to have to do even. So the thing is, he's still going to. Now, usually a 4th place finish is usually a great finish, but to me, look at this. Who's in front of him? Dale Scott. If Dale Scott finishes in front of Jacob Reed is not going to get any closer to Dale Scott. So Jacob Reed is really going to have to perform like a lot more better than where he is right now, even though a 4th place is almost perfect. Now, where's our defending champion, Daniel Boyles? He's currently around mid-pack, actually right ahead of Andrew Gorman. And Daniel Boyles, I think that compared to the defending champions in the Hot Wheels Cup Series and the Domino's Pizza Truck Series, he's done a much better job at being more consistent. But to me, Daniel Boyles is really just going to have to step up his game a lot, or he's going to have no shot at all of catching Dale Scott. In the meantime, we are still green here. We might just end up going green the rest of the way. But anyway, Jacob Reed, he's starting to catch Dale Scott, and Nick Smith right here, he's actually started to reel in Matt Hotchkiss. As we go onto the front stretch once again, down into the concrete section. I think sometimes I like concrete, especially in the first couple corners. Especially after a restart where your tires are so cold, it's so easy to get loose or tight, and that's what causes your car to get out of shape. Right there, another concrete section. I think the importance of that one. Is that you're braking in that corner, and the thing is, I think it adds a little something to your tires when you're off the gas and on the brake. As you transition, I think at this corner is kind of the same. And on a corner like that one, I think that the key is to get off the corner very well, because to me, if you don't make that transition from concrete to asphalt work, you're going to lose ground very easily. But anyway, Nick Smith here, he is still right with Matt Hotchkiss. And Matt Hotchkiss here, he is using different lines around the racetrack, and he might be doing that because he sees Nick Smith and he needs to pull away in order for him to win. Nick Smith, this season so far, he has had some road course success. He won at Mexico City, and he dominated Chatham before having to make an unscheduled pit stop, and it was most likely for a tire failure. But he had a very strong car that race, and once again he has a strong car this race. Can he win his second race of the season and second at a road course? We'll find out. Matt Hotchkiss in the 16. I mentioned earlier about how he was higher up in points earlier in the season, and even though he's fallen off the past several weekends, he is still he's still having a very great season, 10th in points. And at this rate, he might actually pass like Torrin Dieter, Blake, Biff Crafton, and Riley Smith in the 0-1, which I guess we should check. I should check on him. He is 39th position, yeah, and it looks like that he might possibly fall out of the top 10 points. I think it is possible. In front of him, Payne Keys in the 20, a driver that has had some good runs this season, but other than that, it's been mostly a struggling season. Austin Kennedy in 52. I think that there was a period where there was some improvement, but to me, just like Payne Keys, a struggling season. and it's mostly single file so far. As I see Daniel Boyle starting to slide back now. His car must not be that great on the longer runs. Jacob Reed giving another shot at Dale Scott. He needs to pass him because to me, even though it's 1 point closer to winning this championship. And meanwhile, Nick Smith, he has fallen off a little bit, but to me, he's still right with Matt Hoschkes. We're gonna keep our eye on this battle. Let's see what is Dale Scott doing? Well, okay. Well, I guess he really drove it. He really drove into that corner very deep, and it actually paid off for him. He actually gained like almost like a car length over Jacob Reed. And here comes Rowan Ketchuk now challenging these two drivers as well. Sorry, but we just saw right there. Dale Scott got a little loose, exiting the corner, and Jacob Reed is right on the bumper. But the thing is, Jacob Reed, he did not get off that corner that great. And in the meantime, Matt Hoschkes is still our leader. Biff Kraft in 62, I mentioned earlier about how the past 2 weeks have not been good for him, and even though this is not going to really help him in terms of him trying to win a championship, it's just going to be a nice redemption for what's been 2 struggling weeks where he'll probably look back on as I seriously need to do a better job at paying attention to the time limit. But anyway, as I was saying, so. As I was saying, so I think that those 2 bad weeks from Midcraft, I think that they'll probably be looked at as the 2 weeks as the 2 weeks where he lost the championship. But now let's go on board Matt Hoschkes. Coming out of turn number 9, and he will see the white flag. The first driver to see it, entering the first couple corners. He carries in a lot of speed, gets a little out of shape, but I think he'll still be fine. Yeah, he doesn't have really too much to worry about. Here we go through another set of S's, and right there, that corner, you really get to see the banking difference. And in the meantime, coming through, I think that this is turn number 7, and yes, Matt Hoschkes does have a very comfortable lead over Nick Smith. He can almost kind of coast it from here. Coming out of turn number 8, and into turn number 9. Matt Hoschkes sees the check flag, and he will get his first career win ever in the SERL American Ethanol Series, I believe. And Rowan Ketchuk, he did get by Dale Scott, so Dale Scott is going to lose at least 1 point. Well, 1 point missed. Dean Orden did have a nice recovery. Where is Andrew Gorman? Did I pass him? Where's he? Oh, 17. Okay, yeah, I did. For some reason, I couldn't see him. Actually, actually, the recovery from Dean Orton wasn't actually as great as I thought it was. But anyway, so even though it was not a win, another great day for Dale Scott in the points. He's definitely going to be extending his points lead by quite a bit over well, whoever is in second place. It's going to be pretty close between Andrew Gorman and Dean Orden. And now let's take a look at our finishing results. So top 10, Matt Hoschkes, Nick Smith, Rowan Ketchuk, Dale Scott, Cameron Blake, Jacob Reed, Philip Goldberg, Bill Crafton, Blaine Keys, Ben Goldberg. And some of these drivers in the top 10, they got a really great finish, such as drivers like Cameron Blake, who have been struggling, or even Nick Smith, who have had a few slip away. Ben Goldberg in the 3, the Castle Gorge winner. That's probably going to get him into the top 10 points. Another nice solid day for Blaine Keys, even though it's not going to be enough to win the championship. Philip Goldberg in the 18, a driver that has also had a pretty struggling season. Nice solid finish. Jacob Reed keeps the momentum coming off of his win. Brian Kadchog in the number 8, he has yet to win a race this season, I believe. But once again, another nice solid finish and a good points day for him. And now, as we take a look at the rest of the finishing order, so only 3 DNFs, and there were 2 cautions in the first, I want to say, like 7 laps, and there were 3 DNFs. Kendall Benor, Charles Belly, and Jonas Maps Jr. And overall, so I think if you've been following the point standings, I think that you probably will know that Dale Scott will be able to extend his points lead over Andrew Gorman and Dean Orton, and like I said in the previous show, he could very well take this thing home. And the thing is, he's currently taking this thing home as of right now. But next week we head to Pigs Creek, another new track, and the thing is, this is ferocious. And if you do not know this track, look it up on YouTube. NR 2003 Pigs Creek, PIGGCCREEK. I think that's how you spell it. Look it up. Look it up if you are not familiar with it, and you will see what type of a race we will see today. It's a super big, super wide racetrack, and they could potentially reach over 200 miles per hour, possibly. I don't really know. And to me, that could be a race where Dale Scott, or driver like Dale Scott, can either win the championship or lose the championship. It's going to be a lot like a Talladega wildcard situation in the Sprint Cup Series. But anyway, I want to thank all of you for watching. Be sure to rate, comment, subscribe, and bye. Congrats to Matt Hoshkis.